Out of all the problems associated with capitalism, there's one in my mind that really stands out as the main issue with capitalism, which I will address here in this video. But before we get into that, if you love real liberty, real freedom, lefty insight, and just cheesing off the far right in general, make sure you hit that subscribe button, leave a comment down below, leave a like. I would really appreciate that. That would help out with the algorithm, and this channel doesn't really seem to be too favored by the algorithm for whatever reason. But if you do those things for me, I would really appreciate it if you haven't already. So let's get into the main topic at hand here, okay? What people have to understand is, or what they need to understand in my opinion, is that capitalism is a way of conducting business, or just economics in general, that favor those who have capital and will use that capital to pretty much further insulate and protect their interests, so they can further maximizing their profits, as that's the goal of any capitalist enterprise, categorically speaking. That's just what they do. They want to maximize profit, and they'll do any way they can to protect that power position, and to keep on doing what they do, and to use that more money to further insulate their position. And for me, that's really problematic, because what people kind of see that capitalism and capitalist enterprise in general is an undemocratic institution that only seems to really favor, when it comes down to it, those who have money. You got some people on the far economic right talk about, well, markets are actually really truly democratic because people can vote for their dollars. No, that's not how democracy is described as. Democracy is described as the rule by the people, not rule by the people with money. Okay, it's really ridiculous. So if people don't understand that the true nature of capitalism and capitalist enterprise is to maximize profits, and to do that any way they can, whether you have a government or not, so we got some people on the far economic right, they'll claim that, well, if the government just got out of the way, no, that's not even going to be a thing, because if the government's got out of the way, then these capitalist jokers can truly do just about whatever the hell they want, at least with a much more free hand. And what would that be? To further increase profits, and to further protect their position of hoarding their wealth or whatever resources that they have. So you don't really need a government to do that, if you can hire an armed force, private security, to basically protect your interests. So and that's the thing, though. People gonna also have to understand that capitalism isn't when you simply make money. Capitalism isn't when markets. Capitalism isn't when eagles screech across the sky when freedom and liberty. No, the only thing capitalists give a shit about, by and large, if not almost all of them. You have some exceptions for sure, but categorically speaking, the only thing they give a shit about is maximizing profit, making as much money as they can, protecting their power position, protecting their power, so they keep on doing what they're doing, so they can lord that over everyone else and keep having more than everyone else, while everyone else has to respect and abide by their undemocratic institution. Yeah. For me, it's really a no-brainer when I try to raise awareness to people about the idea of, like, say, workplace democracy or economic democracy. And to me, social democracy kind of sort of does it in a roundabout way, trying to protect unions as much as they're able to, because unions kind of indirectly, some semi quasi workplace democracy, but really indirectly. I would rather take the much more direct route, and either advocate for worker-owned cooperatives, or to a lesser degree, at least for the time being, the idea of worker board membership, or what Germany and Europe's been doing, requiring larger businesses by law to have worker representation on the board of directors for larger companies. And those large companies are still privately owned, but the workers have a say through representation put on the board of directors by an actual law, saying that has to be a thing if the company's over a certain size. That seems to help with production and economic stability in downturns. So I think these ideas that I'm espousing, they're not just some pie in the sky whataboutism or theory jockeying or whatever. This actually been what's been happening in Europe and Germany for the past 50 years, or just about 50 years, and they haven't turned into some sort of Stalinist, Leninist hellscape or whatever the far right claims is going to happen if we do things like these. So for me, I would ask you that if you like these sorts of ideas, that you help promote them or talk about them, just raise awareness of them. Say, hey, don't take my word for it, look into these things yourself. And if you do that and just tell however many people you can per day, and tell them, hey, if you like this idea, go tell other people, have them go over tell other people. I think that would really go a long way to addressing this problem that we have. Is this systemic issue of these capitalists just having so much power concentrated into their hands, that would begin to move society, in my opinion, towards a more improved situation. I mean, I'm not a utopian. I don't think there's ever such thing called a perfect society. We can do a hell of a lot better, in my opinion. But yeah, so definitely the main problem with capitalism is its basic need to help to want to just constantly enrich itself, power itself, and use that enrichment to further entrench itself into society, and to not really be able to be challenged by any outside actors or anything like that. That's just its built-in nature. It's fundamental to itself, and people can understand that economic growth and economic prosperity can still happen under a much more economically democratized system. And that system doesn't have to be what the Soviet Union did. It can be more like what the Europeans are doing right now. So if you could, just go out there and let people know about that. And don't forget, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, let me know down in the video below, and I will do my best to address those. And I will see y'all around next time.